I am so sick of spending $10 for a loaf of organic artisan bread. I am so grateful that the other day I was at the thrift store and I found a bread machine. I have never used a bread machine in my life before, but it has changed my world. Hi everyone, Veronica here, and I'm back in the Daily Kitchen today. I'm sharing with you a recipe that I've been perfecting over these last few weeks using my bread machine and 4 simple ingredients that you likely already have in your pantry. This whole wheat French bread is so simple to make. If you have a bread machine, I definitely recommend trying it. And if you don't have a bread machine, I definitely recommend going to the thrift store to see if you could find one. What I did is I went to the thrift store, I found this bread machine, and then I bought a brand new version because I loved it so much. So now I actually have 2 bread machines. So let's get into this recipe. I'm going to share with you exactly what I put into this recipe and how I bake the bread in the bread machine. I'm also going to share with you a quick breakdown of all the nutrition facts of this recipe so you can see how healthy it is. I use this as part of my plant-based weight loss meal prep routine. So let's dive in. So basically what you're going to do is first you're going to measure out 400 grams of organic whole wheat flour. I like to use the Bob's Red Mill organic whole wheat flour. This is a hard wheat flour. It's not a spring soft wheat flour. Soft wheat flour you use to make cakes and cupcakes. Hard wheat flour is best for bread baking. Now, if you're not keen on 100% whole wheat flour, you can actually do half whole wheat, half white flour, like an all-purpose flour. I've done that and it turns out really great as well. So you're going to need 400 grams of the flour. I just measure that directly into my bread machine bucket, like you can see here. I measure everything using a digital scale, and if you don't have a digital scale, check out Amazon. I'm going to share a link in the description below to my favorite digital scale. But if you're baking bread, honestly, I really think you should invest in a digital scale. They're $10 to $20, and you can make the same type of bread every single time consistently because measuring with measuring cups can be inconsistent. So you're going to add 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Depending on your bread machine, you're going to need to read the instructions of when and where you add the yeast. My bread machine here has a yeast dispenser, but some bread machines have you put the yeast directly into the bucket with the flour. Then you're going to add 10 grams of salt. I like to use Redmond's real salt. It's packed with minerals and it's not processed. Then you're going to use 15 grams of olive oil. I like to use an organic cold pressed olive oil for this and all of my other recipes. Then you're going to add 300 grams of water. It's best to use water that's room temperature, not cold. I've done it with cold and it does work, but it does help just the bread come together better if you're using room temperature water. You don't need to use warm water or anything like that like you would if you were baking bread without a bread machine. So you can just go ahead and use room temperature water. If you're like me and you like to store your recipes in a recipe binder, check out my members only section where I share a printable of all of my recipes every single month for you to print and download. So that's available in my membership area if you become a member, so check that out. So once you have all of the ingredients added into the bucket of your bread machine, put that into the bread machine maker. I basically just use the basic setting on my bread machine. I like to do a light crust, and then I set it to an extra large loaf size, and then I press start, and in 4 hours, this is bread. It just pops out as a big, beautiful loaf of organic whole wheat bread. And this cost me basically $1 to $2 for this loaf. It makes about 8 servings, depending on how thick you cut the slices. And it does all of the work for you. Look at this. It's kneading the dough. I don't even have to touch the dough. If you've seen my other videos, I really don't like getting my hands sticky with dough. It's just not fun to get out of your fingernails and stuff like that. So I like any type of recipe where I don't have to do that. So like I mentioned, right now I'm focusing on a weight loss diet. I use the Chronometer app to track all of my nutrition. I'll share a link in the description below for this app. But as you can see, this bread is packed with so many vitamins and minerals. It has iron, it has protein, it has selenium, it has B vitamins. It is just so, I can't believe how much nutrition is in whole wheat. So if you're on like a restricted diet, you definitely want to have food that is mineral rich, that is packed with vitamins and doesn't have a lot of fat and has a lot of good protein in it. And this organic whole wheat flour makes bread that meets all of those nutritional requirements that I'm trying to stick to. Okay, so like I said, 4 hours later, out pops this delicious, organic, whole wheat French bread. French bread is like usually kind of moist and a little fluffy, but is perfect for sandwiches. It's perfect for toast. We've been using this bread as really an all-purpose bread in our household. My husband likes to slice it and put peanut butter and bananas and cinnamon on it for breakfast. I've been making really delicious peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for myself and for the kids. And you can also make hummus sandwiches. You could top it with some avocado. You could dip it in some olive oil and balsamic vinegar. You can even eat it just with vegan butter on top. It just depends on how you want to enjoy it, but I really do love that it's packed with so much nutrition and I don't have to feel guilty about eating this bread. So if you've seen any ingredients in store-bought bread, you know, it's not very good. I do not like to buy store-bought bread. So this bread, like I mentioned, has been a game changer for my family. And the fact that all I have to do is put these ingredients into my bread machine and push start, and 4 hours later the bread comes out. It's like so amazing to me. So like I said too, I use the Panasonic bread machine. There's a lot of bread machines out there. I definitely went through and read all of the reviews on all of them. The one I found at the thrift store was a Panasonic bread machine that was about 15 years old, and it's still working really great. So I did go ahead and buy a brand new model of the Panasonic bread machine on Amazon. It was $300, and I think it's money well spent because, like I said, I have been buying bread, like artisan bread from a baker down the road, and I've been paying $10 for a loaf of organic whole wheat bread that's baked from scratch by this baker who I love, but $10 a loaf, my family can't afford to eat bread, the amount of bread we love to eat. So another thing my husband got me is this really super cute and amazing bread storage unit. Here it's called, I think, a Barantia. I might not be saying that right, but it's available on Amazon, and I'll share a link in the description below. Well, I hope that you enjoyed my whole wheat French bread recipe tutorial using a bread machine. I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Hope you have a great day. Bye.